You see, I built what I built myself, and I did it by working long hours and working hard and working smart. And there was a point where I was making so much, so fast, and it was so easy that I almost got bored. And it's true. You know, I'll tell you what the hardest part is, and the hardest thing about life to understand. You have 15 great years, you have one bad year, and people judge you by your last thing. You're only as good as your last thing. You're only as good as your last article or what you've done lately. And that's it.
You think that's fair? I mean, honestly, you think it's fair?
In baseball, if you get 15 runs in the first inning and you don't get any more runs, you still have 15 runs at the end of the game. In life, I was 15-0. And then I had one very bad year. Now, I had a bad year, maybe it was my fault because, hey, it was a lot of people's fault. Hey, I do a lot of things, and most of them turn out good, but some of them have to turn out bad. And it's, you know, they'll hit you with a little bad.
It's been covered by everybody. Front page of the New York Times, front page of the Washington Post, front page of everything.
It was a frenzy, I have to tell you. And I wasn't feeding anybody. They were feeding themselves. They were making up stories. I called up one of the top people in one of the New York tabloids, and I said, hey, look, this is ridiculous. This story didn't happen. Don't put it in. He said, I know it didn't happen, but Donald was selling papers like crazy. And it wasn't easy, and it wasn't pleasant. I had the one bad year, and 1.5 real bad years where I had a fight. I mean, it was a struggle. It was a survival. It was surviving at the top. I wrote the book. It was surviving at the top.
But I'm pretty happy. At least I'm very content, I can tell you.
I'm busy. I'm doing a lot of different things, and I love doing it. I'm not in any trouble, and I'm doing well, and I'm making money. I'm so happy now. You know, I enjoy getting up and going out to the wars, and the wars are now becoming battles, and it's just worked out well. I mean, they were making these dire predictions about me and others, but I guess I got more print than anybody else. That's the negative. I mean, the good is when you're doing well, and they do that. The bad is when you're doing bad, they do it the other way, all right? And they did it the other way times 10. Well, the economy was atrocious, and you know, the business was bad, and the real estate business was horrendous. And the casino business was bad, and we're opening up the Taj Mahal in the middle of a war. You know, they call them the so-called charity events, but the people that have these charity events are probably the least charitable people I've ever met. And they have them for their own, you know, vilification. They have them for their own, whatever it is, they have them for their own. And they want the press, and they want the nonsense. I mean, I look at some of them, and I look at the expense, and I look at the magnificent table settings at the Plaza Hotel. And in the end, I don't think they make a hell of a lot for charity, and there are very few well-run charities. And I knew the scene, and I knew the people, and some of the people I like, in all fairness, and some of the people they don't like. They're a vicious breed. When people thought I was going down, they sort of deserted me, and you know, this is not the way it should be in life. If I had it to do again, would I have done things differently? Yes. Because that's life. You can't look back. I don't like to look back. Nope. You know, adversity is a very funny thing. When you have adversity, it's like in golf. It's like in sports. Everybody, it's a question of how many bad shots do you hit. Not so many good shots, but how many bad shots. In other words, if I had it to do again, would I have done things differently? Yes. Well, I think I would have treated people differently. I think that, you know, some of the people that were most loyal to me are people that I didn't think would be. I think I would have treated them differently. I think I would have treated different groups differently. I would have wiped the floor with the guys that weren't loyal, which I will now do, which is great. You know, I love getting even with people. Given the opportunity, I will get even with some people that were disloyal to me. I want somebody that's loyal from the beginning, not somebody that's loyal because they're afraid or because they're this or because they're that. And I've had a lot of instances like that. You see, I'm so loyal to people, and maybe I'm loyal to a fault, but I'm so loyal to people that when somebody's slightly disloyal to me, I look upon it as a great act of horror. My folks did a great job for me. I had a wonderful lawyer who did a great job for me. Well, I have a great father. I have a wonderful father. He's somebody I love very much. I wouldn't say he is. I'd say my mother and father, they're very different people. My father's a very business-oriented guy, but a very good man. I mean, if somebody came up to my father in the street and said, I need $100, I need $200, and my father is the softest touch when it comes to people that really are in trouble. He's really a very great humanitarian in that sense. My mother is openly warm. I mean, she's just a wonderful woman. I mean, I lost a brother to alcohol. I've never had a drink in my life because of the fact that I had a brother that had a problem with alcohol. Really? I don't drink for that reason. I mean, I had a fabulous brother, handsome, brilliant, just the nicest guy in the world, much nicer guy than me, to be totally honest with you. I mean, the guy was great. But he got into the alcohol stuff, and it really destroyed his life. Why is it that everybody is suing the tobacco companies and nobody sues the alcohol companies? I mean, you have the car crashes and the kids that get killed by some drunk that's, you know, riding on the road. It's just terrible. And that's a shame, because that's not the way life should work. I think tobacco's terrible. I mean, I have friends that are smart and tough, and they can't stop. It's a terrible drug. I mean, when I have friends that are the toughest, smartest people you'll ever meet, and they can't stop smoking, they start shaking if you tell them they can't have a cigarette. I've had them in the house. I say, do me a favor, don't smoke in my house. And you see these tough guys start to shake. like babies. I've never seen anything like it.
So we all do our thing in life, right?
I don't like to be compared to anybody, and maybe it would be unfair to them, to be honest with you. I don't consider myself to have a big ego. The fact is, I've never, however, met a person who's successful who didn't have an ego or a fairly substantial. I put my name on buildings because it sells better. I don't do it because I need that. I build a better building. I use better finishes. It's just a better product. But I get more than other people because they know the Trump factor. I mean, the Trump factor, because they want to make money. Money is a scorecard for me. You know, money is not as important as people would think it would be to a guy like me, but it is a scorecard. I've been really a public figure for a long time. I mean, I think everything is known about me. You know, I've been somebody that, for better or worse, has always gotten a lot of press. And, you know, in the meantime, I'm running a very big business. And to run it well, you want to be running it. You want to be there. I think I delegate pretty well. I mean, I have a great team in New York. I mean, I have just an amazing team in New York. I know the smart people. I really know the smart people. I deal with the smart. I know the smartest people on Wall Street. I love real estate. I love buildings. I love it aesthetically. I love building great buildings.
And it's an amazing thing to see.
I love it. I love going there. I love being with the workers. I love walking in the concrete. People building those buildings, all of those buildings, all over the country. I mean, the workers are the ones that really like me. I've often said the rich people hate me and the workers love me. Now, the rich people that know me like me, but the rich people that don't know me, they truly dislike me.
But, you know, there's a lot of anger out there. There's a lot of anger from people that aren't angry people.
And I haven't done so badly with them. I mean, in all fairness, you know, they're wonderful people as far as I'm concerned. I've done very nicely.